Progressives, this is your trigger warning.
Welcome back. And to those who are new, welcome. From the post-millennial. Joe Biden's First Lady Jill bitter after DNC sidelined them. Yeah, they should be. President Joe Biden's late-night speech at last week's Democratic National Convention was the last act in a play of Democratic infighting that has left Biden and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi bitter enemies. You know, I don't like Joe Biden. I was a Democrat many years ago. I thought Joe was just a harmless Uncle Joe on Petticoat Junction that sat around, did nothing. I found out later better. But the guy's worthless. Absolutely worthless. You know, it's like the old saying, I think it was Ailey Stevenson said, America's a great country. Anybody can be president. That's the risk you take. Let's read on. Joe Biden's late-night speech at last month's Democratic National Convention was the last act in a play of Democratic infighting that has left Biden and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi bitter enemies. After his speech, an angry tirade against Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump, in which he repeated several hoaxes about the former president, Biden appeared shaken, had difficulty getting off Air Force One when the plane landed in California. According to a report in the Daily Mail, the speech not only marked his parting words to the Democratic faithful, but the convention itself may have marked an irreparable split between himself and Pelosi, whom Biden had already said she had pushed him out of the Democratic presidential race in a national interview. One has to ask yourself, I can see why they replaced him, but so late? It wasn't just a debate where he looked like a total imbecile. The guy obviously has brain problems and all kinds of other stuff. In a weird way, I kind of feel sorry for him, but not that badly because of all the harm he's done. But the fact of the matter is, they knew this long before the debate, including Pelosi, who talks to him all the time. She used to be Speaker of the House, if you remember. She's the only person, by the way, that's ever lost the Speaker of the House-ship twice. It's amazing to me. So they saw him totally self-destruct in so-called debate. And then we have to replace him, They all knew how bad he was. All the media knew. Everybody knew. And all of a sudden, they had to scramble around to get rid of him. They talk about saving democracy. How about the fact that they let 14+ million voters who voted in the Democratic primaries, and Joe Biden came out as a Democratic nominee with that, just threw them away like they never existed. They disenfranchised 14 million people. Kamala Harris, who's never gotten one delegate or one vote, just steps right in. It's amazing to me. And she is in a tied election with former President Trump. It's amazing. A letter allegedly written and signed by Biden appeared the following day. I don't even think he wrote it or signed it, to tell you the truth, announcing his withdrawal from the race. But Pelosi's dictate reportedly infuriated both Joe and Joe Biden, and that anger could resonate for the rest of their lives. Well, however time Joe has left. But yeah, I'd be pissed too. The most powerful position, at least in theory, in the world got pushed out by one of his closest political allies. That tells me something. Yeah, they want Trump to lose. I was involved in local politics for a long time. I used to be a local representative here in upstate New York for 8 years. I know a little about how my people's mind works. You want to beat your opponent. You want to beat them badly. But there's something extra with Trump. They are scared to death of him. Not because they'll start World War III, which Biden has almost started already. They're not for any other things that Trump believes in, the wall on the border, all the other things. That's just things you strongly disagree with. They're scared of him because now he can't run again if Trump wins. They should have let him win last time. And I said that back then. They could have groomed a really good candidate. There would be no incumbent. Everybody starts fresh from scratch. And they could go from there. Nope, can't do that. Because Trump has to go no matter what. Now, if former President Trump wins, he can't run again. That gives him the green light to go after all the people that did all the illegal stuff. The wiretapping, the lies, subpoenas, testifying under oath and lying, which is a crime in itself. Why don't we start with the 51 supposed experts in security saying that the Hunter Biden laptop was obvious Soviet-style propaganda. Who said it under oath and knew it wasn't true. Knew it wasn't true because the FBI had the laptop at the time and just hadn't released its contents. Barack Obama, the Daily Mail notes, is content to see President Kamala Harris grab the Democratic nomination. I don't think he's that content with it. Just as he was eager to see Biden drop out of the race. He wanted that more. And reportedly also worked behind the scenes with wealthy and famous Democratic supporters to make that a reality, according to the Daily Mail. Now, the thing of it is, Biden said, F you, I'm not doing it. That I respect him for. So Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, all the big shot Dems, all went to the big donors and said, don't give Biden a dime. I don't care if you're the greatest incumbent since Abraham Lincoln. You can't run a campaign without money. And Biden is far from being the greatest incumbent ever. Far from it. He had to give it up. Like I said, I think that letter that was put out to the press wasn't written by him. If you see the signature, it's weird. So he went along with it because they said, I'm sure Pelosi sat him down and said, Joe, if you don't go along with leaving, we're going to do this, 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 and this. And you're going to be destroyed. Your legacy is going to be gone forever. And Trump's going to win. God knows what they threatened him with. Maybe they threatened him about his son in federal court for the IRS stuff, which he ended up pleading guilty to just a week ago. But enjoying it all was Pelosi, who sat in the front row and exalted in Michelle Obama's speech, who she can't stand. Biden was ambiguous when asked if he was angry with Pelosi, simply telling the Mail, no, I haven't spoken to her. Pelosi and Harris are two Democrats who don't get along well either. And the Mail also contends that Biden also endorsed Harris so strongly because Pelosi did not want her to be the candidate. I think Pelosi and Joe Biden didn't want Michelle Obama to be the candidate or anybody else. It's really twisted. But the part that concerns me more than any of their infighting and any of their BS is the fact that they disenfranchised over 14 million voters. And nobody said a peep, just like it was okay. Then they have the balls to say that election integrity laws are disenfranchise people. You just threw away 14 million legitimate Democrat primary votes. Like those people just don't even matter. Not a peep. Isn't that interesting? And they're going to save democracy from Trump? You got to be stupid. To believe that, you have to be mentally incompetent. And under most state election laws, being mentally incompetent bars you from voting. It's incredible. So that's the way it worked out. Joe Biden just walked away because he had to, and he's pissed. And I don't blame him. I don't like Joe Biden at all. But I feel bad for him because he got screwed and by his own people. And I can associate with that a little bit because I was a local elected official as a Democrat back in the early 2000s for 8 years. I got screwed by people that I was personal friends with and loyal to. One thing about me, maybe I'm the old school Italian. Loyalty is everything. And when you count on people to be loyal and they're not, it hurts your heart. That happened to me. I'm not going to go into any details, but it happened to me. So it goes. Are the Republicans any better? No, but they're not as bad as this. They waited until the debate. They waited until Joe Biden was just mumbling and fumbling. And they said, uh-oh, Trump's going to win now. At least they had a chance before that debate. And they all acted so surprised. Joe Scarborough on MSNBC. I've talked to President Trump. And I'm going to tell you the truth. If you don't like the truth, go F yourself. And less than a week later, he's praising Kamala Harris. These people lie and cheat so much, it's incredible. Politics has always been a dirty game. It was a dirty game when they did John Adams, the second president. That was before the 1800s. They did the same thing as George Washington, all kinds of nasty stuff. They accused Andrew Jackson's wife of being on a whore on the front page of a paper, big bold letters, WHORE. It's always been dirty. It's always been disgusting. But loyalty is a big deal. At least it is to me. And I think Joe Biden thought the same thing. Little did he know that these scumbags will do anything to keep power. They will throw one of their oldest friends and closest friends, political friends, under the bus just so they can save their own asses. It's incredible to me. So take that into consideration when you're going to vote. Anybody with a D in front of their name, I'm not so sure. Unless it's a local election, you know them personally, I wouldn't vote for them. So there it is. Pelosi, that snake. How's that go? She's going to have a grave site 2 inches, 2 foot square, because they're going to have to screw her into the ground. It's just amazing. And she's not the only one. Schumer, my senator, sadly enough, did the same thing. All the big shots, Barack Obama was calling the shots on all of it. They wanted him gone. Not because they disagree with Trump's policies. It's because they're afraid of him and what might happen to them if he wins. Make no mistake about it. And until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.